Oh, there it is. That's the red one. Hey, what's up, everybody? We are here to launch a new exciting show. If you watch our channel, you know I'm Shannon, aka Small Press Shan, and I am here with Lisa, who is Comic Book Girl, and we'll tell you how to spell that later on on the internet.
I am very much a child.
I love it.
And I regret it.
If you are in the Austin area and you've shopped all the comic book stores, you probably know Lisa from Austin Books and Comics, and we are coming together to bring you a new show called Tales from the Fridge, which is all about talking about marginalized voices in comic books, from the creators to the characters to just what conversations are happening and what inspires us. So thanks for joining us. I'm assuming you did because I don't actually have my phone open. So thanks for joining us if you did. Oh yes, we do. Hey DM, thanks for watching. And this is also very early in the day for a live stream. No, not for us. Not for them. It's probably perfect for them. They've all just finished work and are sitting down and relaxing.
Yes.
We don't do anything before 9 o'clock at night.
Oh,
and you're asleep at 9 o'clock at night.
I'm asleep at 8. Let's be real. I go to bed at 8 p.m. and get up at 4 because crazy is me right now.
I go to bed at 4.
Yes, we've talked about this.
And get up at 9 in the morning.
I don't. No.
Yeah, that's a whole different
That's a whole
world.
thing.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know how you function.
I don't either.
No, okay.
I can't have caffeine.
I know, that's what I was saying. I was like, I lived today through coffee from a coworker, so I really appreciated that. That was great.
You're gonna love the sound effects.
They're gonna distract me.
So,
I'm very much Doug.
Oh, I get distracted by the sound effects on every one of our Sunday night shows. I get distracted, and I'm like, what was that sound effect?
No, I do enjoy that every time I see it.
Yeah, it's great. But so we just wanted to kind of get a chance to, I guess, talk to each other and y'all about some of our comic book influences that started us on our comic book journey. Something I haven't even really talked about on any of our stuff on our channel. But now we get to talk about it, which I'm excited. So,
what got us into comics?
Yeah.
So I was a young lass. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so I'm from East Texas, Lufkin. Let me just get back there. No, I'm kidding. My grandfather was in the Army with Frank Gorshin, who played the Riddler in the Batman Adam West show, if you know anything.
If you've ever heard of it.
Adam West. So he was in a comedy contest with him and actually beat him. Nice. He was the second place runner and Frank was the third. I don't remember who won. That's not important. The important thing was Batman would come on and my dad would always be like, look, I was in the Army with that guy, and we have a really old picture. I'm trying to find it. I haven't found it yet, of them all together. But I was like, oh, who's that? I don't care about that. Who's this lady with all the cats? Who is that? And it turned out to be Catwoman. And so my love affair continues.
Yes.
Since I was a little tiny child that wanted cats, loved cats. There was a woman called Catwoman, and so I wanted to be her growing up.
I appreciate that. I actually remember when Batman Returns came out, I, as with everybody on the internet, fell in love with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes, she is an excellent Catwoman.
Excellent Catwoman. I actually asked my mom if I could be Catwoman for Halloween, so I got that suit, which of course for children was not actually latex or anything.
No, it was cloth. Yeah.
And I was like, but I want a real whip. And I was adamant that I got a really cool whip, and I'm sure it was still probably prop, but it was it actually worked. And I remember my older brother was like, let me teach you how to use it. And he took me outside and he kept directing me on where to stand for the best place to use the whip. And I cracked the whip when he told me I finally could, and it hit a tree branch and came back and hit me in the back of the head, and which was of course his secret big brother plan. But I was like, oh, curses! And I was so mad. I was like, I have to learn how to use this whip and be a better Catwoman. And I spent so much time working on it, and also wearing that costume for forever.
Yeah.
And just, like, with my messy curly hair, would just, like, leave it sticking out of the mask and was like, now I'm angry Catwoman at the end of the movie. Like, I needed to live in that costume at all times. And so I understand this, like, Catwoman kind of, like...
just, I don't know, there was something about her that I thought it was so... Even when I was little, I was like, oh, it's funny how she says perfect, you know? Like, and I can't roll my tongue, and I was always like, I can never be a true Catwoman, I can't roll my R's or whatever. But that's funny that you talked about the whip, because we had a farm, and so, like, my dad had a whip, and so I learned how to do, like, bull whips and stuff like that. And then I also learned how to pick locks, because I was like, I'm going to be Catwoman. So I can pick locks randomly.
Right, you're ready.
I'm ready to get out there.
Become Catwoman.
I'm not sure about jumping on top of buildings or anything like that.
How many cats do you have?
I have 3.
There you go. See, you're on your way.
I'm already kind of getting there.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have the classic black cat, and then I have an orange tabby, Butters. Puka is my black cat, and then we adopted a old resting bitch face cat named Mina.
Nice.
And I love her.
Yeah.
She's just bitchy. But yeah, no, so I definitely took Catwoman and ran with it. I have more Catwoman tattoos than anything else, really.
How many Catwoman tattoos do you have?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I was like, I actually don't know that I've seen all of these. That's fantastic. It actually has the hell here thing.
Yeah. I actually have one of my favorites, and I can't really get to it right now, is I do have the rocket launching penguin from Batman Returns. And I always forget, and I'm always like, I love penguins. And it's back there. But yeah, no. And then I have a really big... the kissing scene on the rooftop where she licks his nose.
Right,
I have that on my
toe could be deadly.
Yes, I have that on my thigh, and then I have like the Gotham City sirens on the back of my calf.
That's fantastic.
I'm running out of room. Everyone jokes, but I will find more room.
Yes, there's always room.
Someone else's skin, just for me to be like, yes,
right.
Yes, I love it.
I'm like, yeah, feel free.
Like,
please, I have open space. Throw your Catwoman tattoos ideas onto my body. I'm fine with that.
It's just like like the spaces I have left are like the worst places to get tattoos.
Right.
So I just don't want to.
You're like biding your time, like, oh, I want it, but I don't.
Do the numbing creams work? No, they don't.
No, you learned that recently.
I did. Yeah. I did learn that, and it was terrible.
Oh, that's a shame.
That's okay. But yeah, no, that's how I like peeked into comics, and then I found like my older brother's old Kiss comics, and I had no idea what I was looking at. So I just gave that back. And then I literally became like the crazy comic book nerd in Lufkin, and would not go play with my friends and watch Batman the Animated Series.
Good choice.
To the point where my mom would come and turn the TV off and be like, go play with your friends. And I was like, but this is more important than my friends. You hear that, Marcus? You're not watching, but I would.
But if you were, just know that Batman the Animated Series was more important than you.
Always. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I do remember I had I didn't watch a lot of the TV shows and stuff. I mean, I watched X-Men the Animated Series.
Oh yes, classic.
Yeah, and really like I have a lot of family in East Texas too, so everybody sounds like that. Sounds like Rogue almost. And so I was like, this is great. I know these people. But I actually grew up on Riverdale Street.
That's right.
And
yes.
so I was convinced that I lived where Archie and Betty and Veronica lived, and I didn't understand why they didn't go to my school. And so I was like, they must be, but they were in high school, so I was like, oh, they're in the high school. Like, I'll see them around later. And I was just absolutely convinced that they lived somewhere near me. And I was like, man, their Riverdale's way nicer than my Riverdale.
Like, what is happening? Like, where are they? I don't recognize that street.
Right. There's no Pop's Diner. Like, too bad, because I could use that chocolate shop. Like, that would be great. But,
yeah.
So that was, and my mom was always, my brother got like Superman and X-Men comics, and he was really, really into Superman. So I read a lot of Superman comics because I would steal his like as a kid. But my mom would let me get the Archie books, and that was like the only ones that I could pick. So, and I would get them at the grocery store. So I remember
getting comics at the grocery, at freaking like Randall's.
Yeah.
Or, what was it? Yeah, no, it was Randall's.
Right, I feel like we're like the old ladies on the TV, like, oh, Monday we got the comics.
I know,
but We're sitting at a comic book store right now, so you can buy your comics at a comic book store. That's
yes,
totally
please
cool.
support your local shops.
Right.
We would all appreciate it.
Yes.
And we do like each other. I would just like to state that.
Yes.
It is funny. Thank you. I'm going to get distracted. No, we literally, I will send people here. They send people to us. We talk to Dragon Slayer. There's nothing. We just want everyone to succeed. Right. Or we just want to be able to give people the pleasure of reading a book that maybe they haven't heard of before.
Right.
And
we just want you to read comic books.
Just read. Yeah.
It's just exciting. And yeah, we get that question a lot is like, oh, you know, like people will come in and they're like, I don't want to say it. And I'm like,
just say it.
Where were you? Were you murdering somebody? Like, what were you doing? Why can't you tell me? And they're like, I was at Austin Books and Comics. I was like, oh my God, I was just there yesterday.
I was there the other day.
Like, oh. Or like, I think there's one time, like, you came over here and then somebody came in right after and they were like, I was at another store. It was really cool. They have this Silver Surfer and this Hulk. And I was like, you can say the name Austin Books and Comics. Like, we love them.
We know who they are.
And they're like, oh, are you sure? And I was like, literally, Lisa from Austin Books and Comics just left here. Like, after hanging out. Like, we're friends.
We're chill.
Like,
we're chill. It's not like what people portray it as.
No.
We are very much wanting everyone to succeed. Mainly, we just want everyone to have a good time and enjoy comics, because that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. We always say it's like the Justice League. Like, everybody's got, like, their role.
Yeah.
Play. Because everybody has, like, a little thing that they do slightly different.
Yeah.
That makes their story unique.
Oh, most
and so
definitely.
we're all, like, the Justice League. And, you know, like, yeah, like, the Flash, you know, saves Central City and Batman saves Gotham and this person does this. But the whole Justice League comes together to save the world.
Yeah. And that's exactly what we're doing.
Right. We're saving the world.
We're saving the world with comics.
One book at a time.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, I know we're joking. I literally am just like, I really want that variant, like the Me Love in the Dark variant, and I'm just like,
right,
ugh.
that Megan Hutchinson Kate Scream homage. Yes, Lisa's gonna be distracted by the books on the wall the whole time.
I mean, I'm always like, we're having a conversation, and I'm just like, but I want it.
But I want it.
I need to be more like in the moment. Let's just in the moment. Here we go. So yes.
So I got there to comics through all of the Riverdale family of comics, and Dan Parent been drawing and writing Archie comics since we were alive, basically. And
longer than
well, as long as I've been alive.
Yes.
And then from there, like, yeah, it was like, you know, it was that whole like, oh, I like this character. I do have the opposite, though, of you saying, like you said, you watch TV. My family was the go play outside, and there was no option. Like, especially when I was with, like, my grandma or something in the country. It was like, you can't watch TV, like, and go play outside. And I only had, on my mom's side of the family, I was the only girl until my sister was born. And she was born when I was 8.
Oh, and so like, you were just by yourself.
I was just by myself. And so every time we'd go outside to play, you know, they'd be like, let's play Ninja Turtles. You're April because you're a girl. And I'm like, suck it. Yeah. I've got to tell because I'm the smart one.
I would do that.
No.
We have like the little communicators and it'd just be like, I'm Donnie because I'm smart.
Yeah.
Well, at first when I was little, I really liked him because he had purple. He was the purple one, and that was my favorite color. But then, like, when I got older and sophisticated, it's that Catwoman thing. And that's how I even knew that there were Catwoman comics, is like seeing it at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And it was like Catwoman Series 2 or whatever, but Jim Ballant was drawing them.
Right.
So that's clearly how I got into Catwoman. And I remember going to Walden Books that I would later work at, but like it's like foreshadowing, and I got one of them, and then I ran out, and Lufkin is a really like conservative, you know, religious town, and I saw a friend, and she was like, what did you just do? I was like, I bought Catwoman, and we know Catwoman. She big Bessie. Yeah, it was Catwoman issue 50, and she's in that weird cyber Iron Man cat suit, and her mother was like, no, don't look at that, because it's like, whatever. It's Catwoman, and I want it. Now it's Catty Iron Man. I don't care.
Right. You're like, I'm taking it, and it's wonderful. And, yeah.
My mom was just excited I was reading.
It's a very good point.
So,
that's why we say comics help kids learn to read, because they get excited. And I had I remember we would play baseball, like, in the backyard. My grandma lived on farmland. She didn't have a farm. She had, ironically, not an inspiration to me at all in any way. My grandma owned a store at the front of her
nice.
on the front of her property, and she was always out doing that, and we would have to play outside because she didn't want us in the house all the time. So we would play baseball, and for some reason we were like superhero baseball. We were like the precursor to Twilight.
I was about to say!
We had to like have a character while we played, and
oh my god,
they would always tell me like, you have to be Wonder Woman, and I specifically am wearing this for this reason, because I hated Wonder Woman as a child, because everything you did as a girl, they were like, well, it's Wonder Woman. Well, you're Wonder Woman. You're the secretary because you're Wonder Woman. Like, you have to be Wonder Woman, and I hated that because it didn't feel empowering to have Wonder Woman. It felt suffocating.
Yeah, because there wasn't that many characters.
There wasn't that many characters, and all the merchandise at the stores, if we ever had any for girls, it was just pink and it was Wonder Woman. And so I got to this point where I hated the color pink and I hated the character of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And I could not stand either one of them for the longest time. And it wasn't until I was an adult that I even began to like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And then I realized that it wasn't Wonder Woman I hated, it was Steve Trevor and the patriarchy.
Yep.
And it turns out it wasn't Wonder Woman's fault at all.
No, I really, Wonder Woman's very, very dear to my heart. Mm-hmm. I love her too. No. But, yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
That I would always want to be Batman. And, like, my nephew would want to be Batman. And I was like, you're not Batman, you're Bat Baby, because I'm Batman. And he'd be like, well, you're not a man. And I'm like, well, you're not a man either, you know? And then, so then it turned into, oh, well, you're Batgirl. And I was like, no, I'm Batman.
Yeah. I would get that argument with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be Spider-Man.
Oh.
Because Spider-Man's everyone's second favorite superhero.
I love him.
And as Star Kid has taught us. But I was just like, I want to be Spider-Man, because then I could like swing from buildings.
Yeah.
And do science and all kinds of cool stuff. And they were like, you can't be Spider-Man because you're a girl.
And now look at all the Spider women.
I know. And now I'm like, well, you know what? Ghost Spider would kick Spider-Man's ass any day of the week.
Oh, totally.
So deal with that.
Yeah.
And I was so mad about it as a kid. And I think that also helped me fall in love with Gwen Stacy, because I thought she was just so smart. And I was like, but to the girls in Spider-Man, like, this girl is like so smart. And also, look, Spider-Man sucks so bad he couldn't even save her.
No, I know, it was so heartbreaking. I got PTSD from that still. Like, still, every time. I just get in a lot of arguments with people who are like, Spider-Man didn't kill his girlfriend. I'm like, yes, he did. Let me show you context. They definitely show.
He's literally holding her body going, I killed the woman I love. Which brings us to the name of our show. Tales from the Fridge.
Tales from the Fridge. And then why did we pick that?
Yeah, so if you don't know what fridging a character is, Gail Simone has a lot to tell you about it. But if you don't know, fridging a character is in reference to the issue in Green Lantern where Kyle's girlfriend was literally chopped up and shoved in a refrigerator. I don't think she was chopped up, but she was shoved in a refrigerator. Chopped up would have made her fit a little better.
And he opened the door, and there she was.
And it was just about, like, spurring the story forward. And that kind of launched this whole investigation into the idea that female characters, and there, like, is literally, like, actual people would say it, like interviews with creators back then who would say that, you know, female characters existed in comic books to spur the story of the male heroes.
That's a downer to hear.
It's such a downer to hear. And we saw that a lot, and Gwen Stacy is one of the biggest instances of that, because they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to do with Peter, because he was happy and he had a good partner who understood it and was able to actually just, like, be a part of this. And they were like, well, the only thing we can do is kill the character. Yeah.
Or ruin his marriage. Later on down the line.
Or not let them get married at all.
Or, yeah.
You know.
Let's kill all the females and let's see what happens.
Yeah. It's not going to work out well for you at all. I can tell you that.
It's the opposite of Why the Last Man. It's just no females.
And it would just... It led to this, and there is actually, you can search women in refrigerators. There was a blog written by Gail Simone that dissected all of this and went through all of the characters and the whole concept behind it and how much we'd been doing it. And honestly, we're like, that only scratched the surface. We just celebrated the anniversary of it last year.
Really?
I believe. And I actually, because I had wanted to make a cosplay group, and then COVID happened and we couldn't do it, but I wanted to do a cosplay group that was just, you could pick any character that had been fridged, but you had to make a refrigerator repairman costume out of it. So, of course, because I love Gwen Stacy, I was going to make like a Gwen Stacy refrigerator repairman costume.
An amazing idea.
And I wanted to do that for the anniversary, and then we didn't have cons, and I was like, I'm not going to do it just by myself in my house.
Then we all just stayed home for 2 years. Some of us.
Right. Some of us. So... yeah, so I still think we should do that at some point, but I feel like we're still scratching the surface of what that really means. Like, we did a book club every week last year on Zoom, and I started talking about just even looking at Professor Xavier as a fridger. Mm-hmm. And, the mental fridge that he put Jean Grey into, mm-hmm. and all of that. And, we don't even talk about the fact that we have this character who mentally isn't allowed to tap into her powers. And then there's that terrible Mira series that I bring up all the time that was where the Mira Queen of Atlantis series.
Oh, yes! Okay, I was like... there's too many things in my brain right now.
That one, where she's literally, like, she's not the queen. Mm-mm. She's in exile, and then she doesn't have any powers. And there's literally an entire issue, like, the whole series, she's like, well, I have to find Orm because I need a man to come speak on my behalf. And then she finds Orm, and he goes to her, like, people's leader, and they're sitting there literally, like, comparing the size of their tridents and their armies, and they're like, the men are talking, Mira. You should go find something else to do. And that's, like, actual dialogue from the book almost. And I was like, okay, you understand Mira is one of the most powerful characters in, like, the DC world. It reminds me of, like, when somebody mentioned that, like, Snow White from Fables was only there to, like, push Bigby forward. Like, I made them become together because of, like, I just knew all the women would swoon. Like, she found her big gruff man, and I was like, oh, that sounds great. No. He's
just
literally a beast. He's a wolf.
That's not to mention all the other things. But that was like one of the biggest things that when I was like, because I used to be very naive and very mm-hmm. much like in my little niche, and then I grew up and have terrible jobs. But no, I'm kidding. But yeah, I didn't see I didn't see a lot of that because I mm-hmm. literally only read Catwoman for the longest time. And she was just always like a thief, right? Yeah. Like she didn't really do anything besides like try to steal stuff and, be sexy or make out with Batman, whatever. Or, and then I slowly started to branch out to like Batman and stuff like that. But I never like really saw or really understood like women in the fridge, you know, until I think I read that issue and I was like, people don't like us.
No. And it's crazy to think too that like, there's so many characters. I've been going back and reading, like, I was reading over last summer all the appearances of the Inhumans, like the introduction of the Inhumans into it. And I couldn't do it because I can't stand reading Stan Lee's version of Sue Storm. It is the hardest thing in the world for me to read because every scene that's like, as soon as a bad guy comes in, she's like, oh my God, and she passes out. Or she's like, oh, Reed, save me. And I'm like, you have superpowers.
Your powers are better than his.
Your powers are 1,000 times better than him. And she would just pass out. And there's a whole scene where they're like, we have to go save the world. And she's like, but who is going to worry about our wedding, Reed? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to lose my mind. This is terrible. I can't handle it. It is so bad. And I was like, it wasn't even necessarily that we killed them off. It was just that so many people didn't understand like how to write women.
Yeah.
But you don't catch that, like you said, when you're younger.
No, I didn't catch it at all when I was younger. Mm-hmm. I didn't catch a lot of it until, honestly, until like the internet came around, like a little bit more and more, and it was so accessible, and then you could all, like, I love the internet and I hate the internet, like it's one of those things, but like that, like learning about fridging and all sorts of stuff like that was like, what? That's a thing, and now that we have all these other things, but No, it's definitely one of those instances where it's like you don't see it in the moment when you're little, and then you're like, oh, this is the best person ever, or, you know, whatever, and then it stops changing, and then you're just kind of like, what is happening? Why are you doing this to this person, or something like that?
And it's almost like once you experience it in real life, then you're able to see it in media too.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other reason, like, as a kid, you don't register that it happens in real life, but once you get, like, a little bit older and you start to see it in real life, you can start to see it in any media. And I love that because we are aware of it in comic books. We're starting to see so many comic books that are trying to just, like, flip that concept in general. Mm-hmm. And I love that they're starting to play with that, which is what we're going to be discussing whenever we have episodes of this show.
Yes. This is just to get to know, I guess, me, because everyone knows you. You're great.
Thanks. I mean, I know you, and I think you're great.
Oh, thank you.
So, what are you reading these days? I know that's a loaded question.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, I just read The Me You Love in the Dark because I wasn't at the comic book store this past weekend, so I missed that. I'm reading that. We know how I feel about that. It's great. It's amazing. It is sadly a limited run.
No.
So, Scotty, what are you doing? But I've been reading that. Of course, I've been reading Crossover. I've been reading Catwoman, of course. I've mainly been reading a lot of indie stuff, like House of Slaughter or Something is Killing the Children. I literally, anytime someone comes into the store, I throw it at people.
Yes.
Like, this is something you need to read. It's got Erica in it.
She's so awesome.
She's amazing. She's badass bee. We all need to aspire to. But
talk about women taking over.
Yeah. Oh, and I like Sweet Paprika. I saw it over there. Yeah. I love that cranky bee. I'm like, oh my god, it's me. Except I don't work in marketing.
But you do still work with books.
Yes, I do work. I do work with books. But she is so cranky, and I'm like, but she had that very conservative, like, upbringing, and then she, like, experiences stuff for the first time, and I'm just like, is this me?
Oh my god, it's gonna change the way I read it every time now because that is so perfect. And it's absolutely, but I love it. And I had a lot of people who were like, you love it because it's Mirko Andolfo and he's usually pretty racy, and I'm like, wanting to see, like, powerful women doesn't mean they can't be sexy. Yeah. Like, that's two separate things.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, whose gaze is it for? Yeah. And usually, a lot of Mirko is, like, for the male gaze. But I love that that book is, like, what it's like to be a woman in corporate America a lot of the time. And
it's very, I feel like it is very, like, on the nose. Because, like, not that I work in, like, corporate America. Right. I do work at the local health departments. Get checked out, guys. There's my little plug. But it does seem like that, because it's like, if a man is starting to talk or tell you things, people are like, oh, and then, but you're like, well, I'm actually the supervisor, like, I know, like, and they're like, you don't know what you're talking about, you're a woman.
Right, they're like, she can't possibly have, like, brokered this deal, and she's like, I brokered all of this deal!
The whole place is around because of me!
Yeah, and she gets so angry, and I feel like that's how I in my mind palace, that's what it looks like when there is all the, like, sexism in the world. I instantly turn into her, like, like, you just, and then you just smile, like, on the outside, like she does, and you're like, oh.
And then you have, like, the fantasies of, you know, strangling that person. Or, you know, something that is illegal, and you can't really do that. It's not that I, like, do that. Yeah. No, what else am I reading? I can't think, because you put me on the spot.
I know. I didn't prep you with that question. That was a sneak attack.
That was a sneak attack. Mm-hmm. I like Black Magic. But it hasn't come out.
No, they're on that break. Okay. Nicola and Greg both had separate projects, and so they had to take breaks.
See, this is why I love knowing people that know things.
That's one of my favorite series, and it's great. I read the letters in the back from the creators whenever there is one. It's my favorite part of comic books. I actually, like, if I buy a novel, my favorite part of every novel is the acknowledgments in the back.
Really?
Yeah, I'm that nerd. I just want them to, like, I love to see who they think and what their inspiration was and everything, and so I always read the letters. And I remember I had been so excited. I redid the wall when Black Magic came back out. I was putting all the emphasis on it, and then the last issue of that arc came out, and I read the letter, and it was I know we just did this to you for years, but we both have a lot of projects that are coming up, so we're gonna take another break for an indefinite amount of time. And I was like, Greg Rucka, I'm so mad at you right now. I'm less mad at Nicola Scott, even though I know she's based too, but I just love her so much.
Right.
But I love Greg too. But.
He really made me enjoy and love Wonder Woman too, his run in Wonder Woman. Also, I have to plug, just because they kind of helped me become myself, I guess. You be you, things like that. It's okay to be a nerd. I read Jim Balance Tarot, Witch of the Black Rose.
Ooh.
And
nice.
I have been in the comic a couple of times. Raven Hex actually sets me on fire.
That's awesome.
And I'm very well endowed, and I'm very much it's me in my head. I'm no, but it's great. I just really like it because it's very he makes it you know how people will look at it and assume, but it's also very empowering when it's just you just should be yourself.
Yeah.
There's always something like that. Also, my black cat's named after the black cat in there, Puka.
Nice.
Yeah.
I always thought it was after Puka from Anastasia, so that's good to know.
No, it's Puka from Tarot, Witch of the Black Rose.
Awesome. That's cool too.
Yeah, so what about you? What are you reading?
I read all of the books that come in.
I figured.
So
you're very much more in the know than I am. I will follow Ty around the comic book store when he's telling people about things I need to read this and check things. A lot of the things that I really did enjoy though are over with and done now.
Yeah.
So it's not I loved Revival.
Ooh, I didn't read that. I need to read that. Yes.
I just got goosebumps. It's so good.
Oh man.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. Okay. Anyway, go ahead. No,
yeah,
it's your turn to talk.
Oh my gosh, what am I reading? I mean, obviously, pretty much all of the things that you just named, and the ones that you're not reading that or didn't name at least that I love, because you could be reading them. I have fallen in love with all these fairy tale stories. So Wind.
Okay.
It's just Wind is fantastic, one of the best books ever, and of course it's because it's James Tynion, and he's never wrong.
No.
But Canto was honestly is right underneath that for me, which is these little tin soldiers, and their hearts are stolen by a sorcerer and replaced with clocks, and they are forced into slavery until their clock runs out. And they have no names or anything, and one of them gets a name from one of his other soldiers. They give him a name, and so he decides it's his job to go out and get everybody's hearts back. And so this little tin soldier kind of guy is on a quest, and he has the heart of Samwise Gamgee. It's a whole book where
I've never heard of this.
Oh my gosh, it is. I actually read volume 2 before I knew that there was a volume 1. And I was like, oh my god, I have to go back. And they're all named after, they're representative, titles of the Wizard of Oz. And that was the inspiration for the creative team, was the Wizard of Oz, and how L. Frank Baum was you have to have, we don't need, fairy tales don't have to be dark. They can be dark, but you need to put a hope in it.
Yeah.
And that hope should live inside of your main character. And so this is kind of the thing.
Oh,
yes, it is. It's so good. Yeah. And everybody watching this is shocker, Shannon just pitched Canto to somebody. And then anything that comes out from Vault, I read that.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you read Head Full of Baskets?
Basketful of Heads?
Basketful of Heads. Yes. Please don't hurt me, guys.
There's a
refrigerator.
Yeah, a refrigerator full of heads.
Have you read that one?
I have. The level of Jaws homage that goes into those books is just my absolute favorite thing of all time, because I love Jaws so much. And
really?
Yeah.
That's my cousin's favorite movie.
Really? Oh. It's one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I love it too.
Yeah.
Have you seen Jaws on the Water?
I have not. Matt has several times.
Okay, I'm going to take you. Next time we do it. Next time it's available and safe.
I always chose to host, because I did movie party hosting for the Draft House until now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess technically I still do it, but we haven't had any.
Yeah.
And I would always choose to host Jaws in town instead of the on the water one, because it was so far away and I don't drive. And so I'd always do the in town one. And so I freaking love it. It's so great. I have a love affair for that movie so hard. And
funny comic tie-in, Joe Hill saw, like, there's like a murder thing. Like, one of the extras went missing, or somebody in a blue sweater, I'm going to butcher this, and someone that knows what can correct me later, but went missing. And Joe Hill was watching Jaws and saw that person, like, on the beach that they found, like, later on that was dead. So there was an extra in Jaws, and I was like, Joe Hill, man, keeping it creepy.
Right, just in real life. That's crazy.
Like, notice that he's a true crime aficionado, like, all, I can't say words. It's funny.
So yeah, reading all of those things, I'm trying to think, like, have you been reading, since we were talking about Wonder Woman earlier, have you been reading Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad's Wonder Woman?
How have I not been reading it?
It's the best Wonder Woman really has been in so long. Mm-hmm. It's so incredible.
I really love her covers, too.
Yes.
They're I love her artistic style. She has a style. Anytime she has a cover, I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. Like, she made Aquaman really, really hot, and it's like one of the covers, and I was just like, oh, never felt this way about you, Aquaman. Not even when Jason Momoa was Aquaman. I just don't care, really.
No.
Continue.
But yeah, the Wonder Woman story has been really good. I like that they brought in a lot of mythology, and I had posted something about how much, like, I did not like Steve Trevor, and Michael Conrad was like, okay, but he has a purpose, and I'm going to show you what that purpose is soon.
I can see him doing
and
that,
I was like, you're going to have to try really hard, Michael, because I'm not a Steve Trevor fan, and honestly, like, one of my favorite things that y'all have done in your series is you just, like, remove Steve Trevor
goodbye
from the conversation. And I do like, even when they did bring him in later on, I like the way they, like, tied him, I was like, if that's what you meant by showing me how he could have a value, then great.
Good job.
Leave him there.
You keep him there. Just keep him. Yeah. No, that's been really good, too. I really do enjoy Wonder Woman.
And Yada Flores, Wonder Girl. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I haven't been caught up on that one though.
It's been delayed. We're supposed to be on issue 7, and right now we're only on 4.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah. So
I'm a very bad comic book nerd because I'll get, like, really into something and I'm like, I want to read all the things, and then I gotta go.
The things that I don't have to read for the weekly live stream, I never get to. People bring me books all the time and they're like, oh my gosh, you should check this book out, and I'm like, cool. I will promise you that I will not lose your book for the next 2 years while I try to read it. So I was like,
just give you books.
Yeah, just give them to me.
Okay, so anyone that gave her any books, those are hers now.
Yeah. Also, you should just give me books for gifts if you're ever in the need to figure out what kind of gift to give me. It's a book. I love books.
Just gift cards to all the book places.
All the book places. Love it. Yeah. So. All right, we'll do one more question.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I know. What do I want to do? Do you have a question? Because I've been asking all the questions. Do you have a question you want to ask?
No, I haven't been on a podcast or, like, a channel like this in a really long time, so I'm kind of, like, really rusty. So I'm really not great. Most of the questions I have are inappropriate questions that I do for my 7 to 4 job.
Okay, well, we'll save that for the next episode.
I have a great thing to talk about, like, that will incorporate that job with comics, and it drives me crazy. Oh, I know. So stay tuned. I'm not going to say it right now. I'm going to say it for next time. Like, what does Lisa do for a living?
Da da da.
Da da da. And then if you know me, then you'd be surprised, because there is a comic kind of based off of what I do.
Oh my god, I can't wait to find out about this comic. I'm so excited.
It's really good too. But it really hits too close to home sometimes, and I'm like, I gotta put this down, put this away.
Ooh, that's a great question. Is there like a title or just a single issue of a comic that, like, really, like, that's like your go-to, like, you pick you up book, or, like, it feels like the most, like, it speaks to you the most?
Well, I think it would be the Catwoman issue that I found at the grocery store, and it was like Catwoman number 37. It just came off of, like, a run, and she meets, like, a jaguar lady. The cover is just ridiculous, and I love it, but there's, like, this jaguar creature, like, clawing at her. I have, like, the cell print of it, because it was, like, the first thing that really got me into comics. So anytime I'm feeling really upset, I'll, like, go and read it. I have multiple copies at this point. But I do have, like, pristine... I have so many Catwoman comics, I can't even. But, like, it's just a standalone story, and I love it. And it kind of reminds me of the Batman the Animated Series episode where Selena Kyle was turned into a cat.
Yes.
A Catwoman.
Yeah.
And it's almost like that, but not really. But I love it to death. Tiger? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember that one because of the frickin' poem.
Right.
So I'm going to spiral. So good. Yeah. What about you?
It's okay because I don't actually have an answer to this question.
How dare you? That's not fair.
I don't know if I had to pick. Like, I'm like, what comic do I go back to?
Well,
I'm like, Matt. What do I read all the time?
Well, what about So you always were interested in seeing someone from Archie. Who were you mainly interested in meeting?
Sabrina.
Okay.
I also think Sabrina should date Jughead, and that I will firmly ship Sabrina and Jughead for forever. That's the sound effects done by my husband, who has a Jughead tattoo.
I know. I mean, I do. Yes, I have never even. Do you watch this? You don't watch the shows?
I have not seen a recent. Like, we fell off on Sabrina. We never finished season 2. And we're not caught up on Riverdale. Okay. But I did watch them. And I know that the teaser is that she's coming to Riverdale for the next season. So I am curious.
I will state that the last couple of episodes of Sabrina were really not my favorite. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I liked the ride. Yeah. I just felt like they could have, they were like, oh, let's do it. We're done.
I feel like endings to shows have that problem, like, nowadays, and I think that it comes from the big thing with modern literature was to not have an ending. Like, just that is the modern American, starting in, like, the 40s and the 50s, we started writing books that didn't have, like, an ending. It was supposed to be an open ending, and I think that as all the people who started writing TV shows grew up on that kind of writing and are still, like, embedded in that, and nobody knows how to end things anymore. My favorite ending of any comic ever is actually W. Maxwell Prince's 1 Week in the Library, because the last issue is literally, he wrote himself into it, like, and he's like, I have no idea how to end this book. You're probably wondering, like, what is going to be the ending? And he's like, I don't know either.
There's not one.
There's really not an ending to this book. And that's, like, the last issue of the book is him explaining as a comic book character why he doesn't know how to, and how he can't end the book.
That's kind of poetic, though.
And it's great, especially because it's the precursor to Ice Cream Man.
Oh, yeah.
So it's already in that anthology style, and then he, like, gets to this. And so I'm like, great, Ice Cream Man's never going to have an ending. This is what I'm getting out of this, is that he doesn't know how to end it. But there's so many times where I feel like that's what happens, is, like, we get to the end of something and we're like, we don't know what to do, and it's like, especially these days with the internet controlling what everybody does, and people are like, oh, well, so, like, you know, all of these fans will be mad, or all of these fans will be mad, and it's like, I don't really know what to do. Which group do we make mad? We're gonna just make them all mad, and we're gonna put, you know, Dexter in a log cabin or something, you know? No. Like, it's just, there's so many things that...
It's that TikTok of that guy that was like, I was feeding these crows, and then you guys started yelling at me that they're not crows, they're ravens, so then I started calling them ravens, and y'all yelled at me and said, don't call them ravens, they're crows. So you know what I'm calling them now? Chickens. Everyone's mad. It is one of my favorite TikToks. If I find it, I'll send it to you. But
that is amazing.
It is. I'm just like doing this.
Right, like the chickens.
They're chickens. So, yes. No, most definitely. So, before we go, I do want to ask for, like, a non-spoilery Eternals review. Did you already talk about it?
No, I have not talked about it because I wanted to, like, give people time to see it or whatever.
Yay, nay, yay.
Yeah, I love it. I think
and we stay until the end of the credits, right?
Yes.
How do you go to a Marvel movie after how many years?
Right.
And then
11 years and 23 movies, and you know, yeah. No, you're
I just needed to say that because I've read a lot of things where people were like, I left like right before. Why?
Stay until the end. There's always something. And honestly, stay to the... this is my soapbox. Thanks for giving me
this. Oh, there we go. Yay.
Stay to the end of every movie. Because the people you saw on the screen are 1/8 of the amount of people who actually worked on that film. Like, the people who did all of the day in, day out, grueling, incredible work that made that film possible are the ones whose names are listed at the very end of those credits. So stay to the end of the movie and respect those people who worked their asses off for a lot less money to make that movie happen.
Than the actors. No, I agree.
Yes.
No, it's a good point.
Yeah.
But also...
But if you're watching a Marvel movie, they give you something.
Or like any comic book movie now, it seems like they've all decided to like start to do that. Well, good. I have not seen it yet. I hope to see it this week.
Talk about female like strength and power. You know, obviously the Eternals in general have a lot of strong female characters in them because that was something that was very important to Jack Kirby is representing that. But also, this is a female director who wrote and directed this movie, and there's not a lot of people talking about the fact that this is a female who wrote and directed this $200 million blockbuster, the second highest grossing movie since COVID hit. For opening weekend. And like she made this incredible movie. She's completely changed the shape of the Marvel universe, like Marvel Cinematic Universe, with this film. And I don't think that there's enough people talking about Chloe Zhao's movie and the work that she did on it. So, you know, it's freaking
I really liked all the stills of seeing her like giving direction and everything to the actors. I thought that was really great too. And I try to reshare those when I see them because it's like, yes, this is a Marvel Cinematic, movie, and I know all of them have been great or whatever, but, like, you need to see, like, the people behind the camera.
Absolutely. And read her interviews about it, because she's been making films, like, she's been doing those films for just a couple years, really, like, big feature films. And she is, of course, the director of Nomadland, so she was the second woman to ever win Best Director Oscar, and the first Asian woman, or non-white woman, period, because she's the second one, to win an Oscar for Best Director. But because she does come from that almost like indie directing field, she's seriously has a reason for every single thing she did, and she sits there and she'll tell you, like, when I look at this character, I felt like this is the words they would have said in this, and this scene, based off of like reading the comic books, this is how I felt like they would have talked about this thing. And then also, being the writer and the director, she was like, oh, I got on set and I saw these characters' interactions and I changed what I planned for that because they worked so well in this capacity. And so it's amazing to see somebody who was willing to keep the integrity of the source material and then also fluidity to make the best movie possible.
Yeah, like have the actors work together in a better way to make everything more cohesive. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So
cool!
She did a great job. Go see the movie.
There's too many things to do. Yeah. And not enough time, even though time doesn't make sense anymore.
No.
Where are we?
I don't know. I don't even know what day it is. But yes, so thank you for tuning in and joining us. We are going to be doing this on some form of schedule that we'll tell you about soon, so watch the updates. You can also find this, if like right now we're live on Facebook, but all of our videos do go up on YouTube afterwards. So if you have friends who are like, I don't have a Facebook, and you ever want them to see anything that we post up on here, all of our videos are also on our YouTube channel, and it's one of those YouTube channels that doesn't have like a real name yet, because it's because we just started putting our videos on there, so you gotta hunt it down. Find it, subscribe to it, and then it'll have a name, and then you can find it easier. That's it. But thanks, Lisa.
Thanks for having me. Yes. We're going to do this. I know it's like the holidays are coming up, so it may get a little wonky, but we're definitely going to come up with like a better schedule, like kind of like get the feedback and see how people...
Yeah.
Tell us what you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Also, if there was something,
If there's a comic that you feel like really impacted you or spoke to one side or the other, like you're like, this is the worst example of fridging ever and I want to hear y'all's opinion of it, or I feel like this comic really showcases minority voices or empowerment for a certain group, and you want us to talk about it, send us those comics. We'll read them. We'll definitely talk about them.
I'm real good at homework.
Yeah.
I need someone to tell me what to read, and then I can do a report on it, because there's too much. There's too much. Look at all this stuff. There's too much. And I can't pick one thing to be like, okay, this is what I'm going to be an expert on now.
Except for Catwoman.
Everybody back off.
So,
my girl.
So, and let us know your favorite Catwoman issues. Because if you have favorite Catwoman issues, we will gladly talk to you about them.
All day. All day.
All of the days. Every single one of them.
I have a problem.
So, let us know what you want to see. Let us know. We're going to probably be doing this on, Mondays, but who knows? We'll let you know in the future. But keep an eye out for more Tales from the Fridge and all of the fun, exciting things coming your way from me and Lisa.
Yep.
And check out all of the local comic shops. We're going to keep telling you that every time. Support local. Shop local.
Shop local. I mean, not just in, Austin. I mean, there's, Round Rock, and there's Cedar Park, and there's all those other places. There's so many people that just, everybody has their niche.
Yeah. Find the one that works for you and support them.
Yeah.
And
don't be scared to talk to the girls.
Yeah.
We may know more.
Yes.
Sometimes.
I'm just kidding. I guarantee it.
I guarantee I'll know more about Catwoman. And if anybody ever has a question about Batman when I'm at the store, they're like, "Where's Lisa?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I'm hiding." But yeah, no, I know a lot about Batman too. Yeah, that's about it.
So there you go. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I like that.